I think we've got a right to know, not just sign it off within 24 hours that it's not suspicious. In our eyes, it is suspicious because we know our son, the police don't know our son. What we've got here is not a cold case, we've got a frozen case. We've got no forensics, we've got no witness reports, we've got nothing. I just thought there'd be more help, and literally we were met with a brick wall. We will not just get pushed aside by the police by saying we can't be bothered. My name's Keith Pengally. My son, Paul James Pengally, was found here on the 30th of November, early hours, 2023. We want to know how he arrived here. How did he meet his demise? Sometime during the evening, there was a comment made by someone apparently who didn't work for Barchester, but seemed to hang around with them. And our son took he didn't like the comment much, and he had to be consoled by his other colleagues. Our son, he is one of these people who, he's not violent, but if someone says something wrong to him, he will want to have it out with them. So his colleagues consoled him. They left this room because I think maybe it might have got a little bit, I don't know, we've never been told that. They went to another colleague's room, then round about 2:30 they decided to go to bed. So our son left with a few other to go in the lift to the 9th floor. He got out the 9th floor round about 2:30 with another colleague who went the opposite direction along the corridor. Our son went the opposite direction. But our son never reached his room. We don't know where he went, but when we got the Vodafone records some 9 to 10 months later, we could see that he was making network connections round about that time. So as soon as his other colleague went the opposite direction of the corridor, he went as though he was going to his room, but he never reached it, or maybe he did reach it, because apparently he had the wrong card key. He picked up one of his colleagues who they were having an after drinks party in the room, so he maybe couldn't get access to his room. We don't know what he'd done for the other 45 minutes, but he was networking a fair bit because that was seen on his Vodafone records. He hadn't left the hotel, so between round about 2:30, 2:35, for 40 to maybe 50 minutes, he left the hotel around about 3:28, as evidence on the CCTV cameras of the Plaza Hotel. He passed the security guard, then round about 4 minutes later, he made a 37-second network call, which made him turn 180 degrees around on Westminster Bridge and then head towards the London Eye. What we're trying to deduce is what made him leave the hotel. Does some of his colleagues know why he left the hotel? Did he arrange to meet the guy who upset him to have a little fisticuffs outside? We don't know. These are all things we're questioning. We've had to obviously tell lies to our granddaughters because obviously he's left 2 young children, girls. But his youngest, we've had to say that he had slippy shoes on. And,
well, she come to that conclusion.
And we've had to just go along with it. And
all she was worried about was Daddy stabbed? And we said, no, he wasn't stabbed. Oh, well, it was cold, wasn't it? And I said, yeah, it was cold. And he had slippy shoes. I said, yeah, he did. And that was her. And we've just left it at that. So,
that's explaining that to an 8-year-old. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, it has actually traumatised us mentally, physically. The shock, I don't even think the shock has come out in any of us yet, because we still haven't, we're trying to grieve, but we're trying to fight for justice for him, or to know what happened.
If he'd have died in a car crash, you can grieve and get over it. But something with too many questions and not enough answers, you struggle. You struggle big time. We're grieving, but we still have got this nagging doubt that we don't feel that there's been enough investigation into it. And, you know, you just want someone to have a little bit dedicated time to it. It just doesn't make sense in our eyes. What we've got here is not a cold case, we've got a frozen case. We've got no forensics, we've got no witness reports, we've got no call records, we've got nothing. And when a body goes into the Thames, that washes away any forensic evidence at all. All we've got is our gut feeling as a family. We just know there's something not right, and we will not,
For sure.
we will not just get pushed aside by the police by saying we can't be bothered. I think we've got a right to know. Not just sign it off within 24 hours that it's not suspicious. In our eyes, it is suspicious because we know our son. The police don't know our son. He was found with no identification. He was called a misper, which is called a missing persons on the police records. However, his wallet was found 28 hours later. We don't know where. All the police said nearby. We don't know whether it was on the foreshore nearby or whether it was on land. If it was on land, then questions got to be asked. That how comes it was found on land? That must then therefore deduce that his jacket and wallet were stolen. Someone's taken what they wanted out and just threw it away. Where was his phone? His phone, 6:31, was obviously not at the bottom of the Thames at 3:30 or 3:40. Because we checked on iPhone. iPhone have only got a 30-minute waterproof retention under about 7 metres of water. So an iPhone would not have been pinging at 6:31. Even if he entered the water, say, around about 6:30 in the morning or whatever, he had rigor mortis. So he would have been dead 2.5 hours before that, before he was found at least. So there's questions. The phone. Why didn't the police jump onto his phone records and try and triangulate his phone signal at 6:31? Where was that phone? It's got to be something. If that phone was somewhere away from London Eye, then what does that say? Does that mean that you then start looking at cameras in that area, if that phone, see if our son was connected with his phone at that point, or did someone else have his phone? We believe someone else had his phone, maybe took the SIM out, and then that's it. There's some strain marks on his hand. We only found out recently where we took photos of him lying in the funeral parlour, and they look like, dare I say it, they look like taser marks on his hand. He was right-handed. There's 4 like prong marks on his right hand. Was he tasered by someone?
I questioned that straight away. I said about his hands, and I said there's something not right with these. I didn't know if someone had burnt them or that's what it looked like. There was like holes in his hands.
We believe that there was a blood stain on his white shirt, and I've always said to the police, and the police have just ignored. I've said there's blood.
And lipstick.
Blood on his shirt. We don't believe the blood would have got on his shirt if he was in the water, if he hit a part of the bridge. The river would have washed the blood away, it wouldn't have stained. We believe the blood has gone into his shirt before he entered the river. We still got his wet clothes in a bag.
Well, they're
were
dry now,
but we still got that.
I've got everything all in bags, his wallet, everything.
But the police just, honestly, I
We're not
always
naive
thought,
as a family.
I just thought there'd be more help, and literally we were met with a brick wall. I contacted our MP. I also contacted the superintendent, deputy superintendent. The deputy superintendent, all they done was refer us to the coroner. I asked them to get CCTV images, because we went down to all the carousel owners near the London Eye who have got CCTV cameras, because they have a lot of crime around there. And we asked the carousel owner, has the police been round to request any CCTV? No, they had not. We asked the police to do it. They didn't do it. Right, if all I'd say is that you do what you can on your own, under your own steam, because I don't think, everyone says the police are understaffed, etc., etc. I think that if they can just write it off, if they've got no forensics, they don't bother to look at the CCTV or try and do a bit of investigation, they will just try and close it down straight away.
Okay.
You've got to push and push and push, and that is so right of where we are. Social media now has a bigger part in solving crimes. Investigators, reporters seem to pull up cases where the police have failed. I think as a family, we're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm not hopeful. If someone's out there knows something, then please come forward. Even a snippet, which will give us a lead. All we want to know is how he passed. If it's by crime, so be it. But we got to know as a family.
But please don't assume and presume that someone just takes their life when, you know, there's more questions than answers, really.